All right, guys. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome back to my channel. This is Dion, your 49er reporter. I'm going to go ahead and get the particulars out of the way. If you like, hit that like button. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. I'll keep you up to date on any and everything 49ers. So the last video that I did give y'all was on the offense. Now we go over to the best thing smoking in the NFL, our defense. So with that being said, I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser. Let's get right into it, man. This is the number one defense in the NFL. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, literally, the number one defense in the NFL. According to NFL.com, we are the leaders in the league in total defense. We are only allowing 241 yards per game. We are the leaders in the league in pass defense, only allowing 138 yards per game. Now, earlier in the season, we were the leaders in the league in rushing defense, but last couple of games have been a little bit of a struggle for us with CMC and with Kenyon Drake. So we did drop. We dropped all the way to 14th, guys, as far as rushing defense is concerned. Now, mind you, our last couple of games were pretty, on a short week in very close proximity. We had one on Sunday, we had one on Thursday. So I don't anticipate that we will fall back out of the top 10 for the rest of the year. I feel like we'll get right back into the top 10 as far as rushing defense is concerned. But for right now, I mean, either way, to have number one defense in the league as far as total defense, and, I'm saying the number one defense in the league as far as passing defense in a pass-happy league, I mean, I feel like that's perfect for us. We don't have anything to worry about as far as that's concerned. And people better believe our defense is real. If anything, that's what all the commentators have been stating that we rely on is the defense to win games. The thing is, the defense has only actually scored twice. They haven't scored more than that. So the defense is keeping us in games. The defense starts to slow down the opponents, and they make sure that, we are always going to be competitive. And I think we can ride this defense all the way through to a Super Bowl. So we don't have anything to worry about. Our defense is solid. It's number one in the league for a reason. And we have the players and the pieces of the puzzle to do it. So with that being said, let's kind of get right into it. So recently, unfortunately, we lost Kwon Alexander for the year. He has possibly, I think, a torn pectoral muscle. And that is definitely something that takes a very long time to recover from. So you won't see him in the playoffs. You won't see him anytime in the season. None of that. Like, that's not something you can just kind of put off for a couple months and then be like, oh, I'm back, I'm great. No, he needs to take the full time to heal from that injury because of all of the pushing, shoving, grabbing, and the outstretched parts that you do in the muscles, in your chest to be able to actually get that taken care of. So unfortunately, we lost Kwon Alexander. He was doing great for us this year. He did have 22 tackles. He had half a sack. He had, 3.5 tackles for a loss. He had 4 passes defense, and he had a pick. His pick was nice too. He had a little toe drag swag on that one. If y'all ain't see it, you gotta go back and watch it. I forget what game it was, and he had forced a fumble. So the thing is he was invaluable to the team because of the energy that he brought. That's what everybody is talking about with Kwon, is the energy that he brought to the team. And, I'm saying, him, our linebacking core, he gave him the nickname the Hot Boys because of that. So we officially placed him on IR, and Dre Greenlaw is going to start in his spot. Now, I know a lot of people have had some apprehensions about Dre Greenlaw as far as, commentators and other things like that. I don't have any. I think that Dre Greenlaw is going to step in. It's going to be a bit of a seamless transition. He may not be able to bring the energy that Kwon brings, but I don't think as far as the play, we're going to slip too much in that aspect. I believe that Dre Greenlaw is going to come in and do exactly what we need to do. When he came in for Kwon Alexander, what's the first thing that happened? Sack. So, I mean, what I'm saying? That was created off the pressure that was coming toward Kyler Murray. So, I'm not going to be upset about that. I'll take that. Hey, man, you come right off the bench, throw your helmet on, and get a sack. Who wouldn't take that? But the anchor of our defense and our defensive captain, the guy that wears the green dot, Fred Warner, has been great. He's got 34 tackles. He got 1 tackle for a loss, 3 passes defense, and the forced fumble himself. The big boy in the middle, DeForest Buckner. That is a man-child. He's got 21 tackles. He has 4 sacks. He's got 7 tackles for a loss. And he's even got 2 passes defense and 2 forced fumbles himself. So you got to love that. Tart has been healthy the whole season, which is amazing in and of itself because, him and Jimmy Ward, unfortunately, usually get bit by the injury bug. But that's beautiful. He's got 21 tackles. He doesn't have any sacks, but he's got 2 passes defense. And Tart's been doing very well for us. Uncle Sherm is back to form, baby. You don't know. Uncle Sherm is the #1 rated DB per Pro Football Focus. And I'm telling you that for real, for real. You don't believe me? Go check it out. Per Pro Football Focus, I think he has a 36.7 completion percentage against. So it's pointless basically to throw the ball in his direction. Uncle Sherm has 8 passes defense, 3 interceptions. He's got a TD from that one he scored against the Bucs in the first game. And he's doing fantastic. He looks great out there. I know this last game our defense didn't look too good because, honestly, they were tired, man. You coming off a short week, it's really hard. He caught a bad angle on that Andy Isabella touchdown, and nobody was just able to catch him. And that's where speed kills, and that's the hard thing because I can tell you right now, Jaquiski Tartt and Jimmy Ward ain't catching nobody if they're super fast like that. You're gonna have to have Tarvarius Moore in that, in that defensive backfield playing that safety position to be able to catch someone that's going to be super fast because he has the speed to keep up with them. Those 2 guys don't, and it's nothing against them. It's just they're not gonna catch anybody that's really crazy fast like that. If you get a Christian McCaffrey out there that runs like that, guys with speed like Marquise Goodwin or Deshaun Jackson or something like that, you're not going to catch dudes like that with Jaquiski Tartt and Jimmy Ward. They're just not fast enough. Like I said, it's nothing against them. They're great tacklers and they're great players, but they don't have the speed to keep up with dudes like that. And that's just me being honest. Next up, we have an aberration in Arik Armstead. This dude right here. If y'all ain't seen Armstead this year, boy, y'all been asleep. Y'all ain't even really been paying attention to 9 games. He's got 17 tackles. He has 5.5 sacks. He's got 8 tackles for a loss in total. You know what I'm saying? And he's got a fumble recovery. Like, this dude right here has been balling out of his mind. Like, Arik Armstead is a whole nother player, man. His pressures, everything. What he does in the middle is invaluable. And the next guy that we have on the list, K'Waun Williams. K'Waun's been doing great in the slot. He's been doing fantastic work for us. He's our nickelback. He's got 13 tackles. He's got half a sack, and I think his half a sack came with Quan Alexander, if I'm not mistaken. He has 2 passes defense, and he's got 2 picks. K'Waun, can't say enough about him. Dude been doing great. Jimmy Ward, after he finally came back from the injury, because he got injured again. I didn't know how long it was going to last, but, that's Mr. Glass right there. It's nothing against him, but it's just the truth. Every year that man get injured, and you can't avoid that. Anybody that want to challenge me on that, go ahead and take a look at his history. I'm waiting. But Ward's got 21 tackles. He's only played 5 games this year. And he does have 3 passes defense, but he's made some big tackles, in different games to be able to, help us out and make sure that people don't get first downs, things of that nature. Next up, we have the rookie sensation, Mr. Nick Bosa. Now, Mr. Bosa here has 17 total tackles. The man has 7 sacks. He's got 11.5 tackles for a loss. He has 1 pass defense, and he has an interception. And he almost scored on that interception. He's got a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. So Nick, by any stretch of the imagination, is having a defensive rookie of the year type of season. He is definitely out there campaigning to be defensive rookie of the year. And one thing that I do want to tell y'all is I know that I was hard on him when he first came, when we were first thinking about drafting him and everything. One thing I can tell you, though, quietly, Josh Allen is having a very similar season to Nick Bosa. He does have 7 sacks himself, and he does have a pretty good amount of tackles. People aren't really talking about him because he's over there in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's facing a lot of turmoil. They had their Minshew mania and all that other stuff, and you got Leonard Fournette there. but quietly, Mr. Allen over there is balling. You know, he was picked in the top 10 too. So next up, we got Ronald Blair. Ronald Blair's got 12 tackles. He has 3 sacks. You know what I'm saying? 7 tackles for a loss. He's balling. You know, he's definitely coming off that edge. Dre Greenlaw, like I said, he just kind of got into the game, so he only has 11 tackles. He has 1 sack. Tarvarius Moore, our you know, second-year sensation. We put him out there at safety and replaced Jimmy Ward until he came back. And when Ward came back, Tarvarius Moore did have to sit down. Ward does bring a little bit more value because of his experience, but Tarvarius Moore brings speed. That's something that Jimmy Ward doesn't have. So when it comes to these games where we got these speed burners and these top end speed guys, I really feel like we should put Tarvarius in to be able to keep up with them. But you know, that's all on the defense. It's all on Robert Saleh and what he wants to do. Moore does have 10 tackles. He's only got 1 pass defense, but you know, he did an admirable job while he was in there, and he did fantastic for us, man. Like, all of our defensive players have been doing well. DJ Jones has 13 tackles. He's got 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss. Solomon Thomas, man, you know, he's quiet. He ain't really been doing much because he doesn't see the field too often, but he's got 11 tackles. He has 2 sacks. 2 tackles for a loss. Of course, those sacks go along with that. Then we got Emmanuel Mosley, who had to step in for our boy Akello Witherspoon. Mosley's been doing a fantastic job. He's played 8 games. He has 13 tackles. He has 2 passes defense. He got his first interception, I believe it was against the Panthers. And he's doing a great job. And at the same time, you know, he just keeps balling. He doesn't stop it, you know. And then we get on next up to D Ford, our acquisition from the Kansas City Chiefs. There's 7 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and he's got 1 pass defense, and he's got 2 forced fumbles. The thing about D Ford, if you ain't never seen him play, is his get off is nasty. Like there's been so many times I watched him during the season where he just, it's like hike, and there he is in the backfield, just like, what? Bro, how did you get in the backfield so fast? Like, they didn't even finish the word hike, and you were already there waiting at the quarterback, asking him how his day was, how his kids are, how his mama is, you know, well, what's going on? Is the wife okay? Like, you over there making dinner plans with the dude because you sacked him already. And/or it's a strip sack. Like, D Ford's get off is nasty. You know what I'm saying? On the other end, Nick Bosa is just, he's got good moves, but he can bull rush the shit out of you. He's got power. He's got a lot of power, and his power comes from his legs. If you ever get a chance, go on YouTube and watch like George Kittle's funniest moments, man. He's talking about Nick Bosa's thighs made of syrup and shit like that. He's just, George is a hilarious character, man. He's probably the funniest person on the team. But continuing on, of course, Akello Witherspoon, who we might get back this week. We might. I don't know. I think it's probably a little bleak that we get him back maybe next week. But Akello Witherspoon had 7 tackles. He had, 2 interceptions. And he did have, an interception. Oh, no, he had 1 interception. My bad. He had 1 interception, and it was returned for a touchdown, but he did have 5 passes defense. And before he did go down with the injury, Akello was one of the top-rated defensive backs per PFF as well. So our defensive backfield is a complete polar opposite of what we had last year. We're doing so great, and we're doing, so well. And, it's a lot of it is due to that front four, people. That front four creates so much pressure, and it puts you just in a bind, so you don't know what to do and you don't know how to do it. It's very frustrating, for offensive lines and offenses in general, because you don't know where the pressure is going to come from. If you try to go up the middle, you got 2 tall trees at 6'7" in Armstead and Buckner. And then if you try to go outside, you got D Ford and Nick Bosa on your ass so fast, you don't even have time to breathe. It's just been, this defense has just been ridiculously nasty, man. So I can tell y'all right now, man, like, just total in what we have here. As a team, we have 30 sacks. That's ridiculous. Those are ridiculous stats, man, and that's beautiful. And the thing is, the sacks aren't dominated by one person. Like one person doesn't have like, like 12 sacks and another person has like 13. Like this is literally spread out amongst the defensive line. Like I said before, you got Quan and Kwan came in and they got a full sack. Then you got DeForest Buckner with 4, Armstead with 5.5. You have Nick Bosa with 7. You got Ronald Blair with 3. You have Dre Greenlaw with 1. DJ Jones with 1. Solomon Thomas with 2. D Ford with 5.5. So basically, it doesn't matter who's on the field. They're going to cover. They're going to rush the quarterback, and they're going to get to him. They get home every single time. And that's what you got to understand. You got to respect that, man. Like, there's nothing else you can do. The offensive lines are just worried every time that, they see us coming because they know we're going to be able to do it. Now, all of last year, we only had 2 interceptions. 2. We have 10. That's 5 times the interceptions that we had, and I believe we're going to get some more. We're going to keep getting it. And the interceptions as well, they're spread around. Uncle Sherm has 3. K-Wan's got 2. Nick Bosa himself has 1. E-Man's got 1. Akello Witherspoon has 1. Mark Nzacha had an interception, for God's sakes. I mean, it's just basically the one thing is I'm trying to tell y'all is this defense as a collective wreaks havoc on the league. And once you think you're going to stop us one way, we get you another. The last game we played against the Cardinals had a good time stopping our run. And you know what they did? They said, okay, you want to stop the run? Who cares? We'll just go to Jimmy. Jimmy, go win us the game. Jimmy said, all right, coach, 318 yards, 4 touchdowns. That enough? Yeah, I think we won the game. All right, that's cool. Last play to ice the game. He comes out, looks like he's going to run for that first down. Now, he could have ran for it and got it. But he said, nah, man, I'm going to hit Ross Dwelley up real quick. Let me get this big play for me. Dwelley gets it, gets across the first, across that first down marker. We kneel down, game over. You see what I'm saying? When we was playing the Panthers, we was whooping their ass so bad, we went ahead and threw in Nick Mullins. And Raheem Mostert went and took it to the house against their first string defense. And mind you, we put in we put in some backup offensive linemen. Because I saw Sam Young out there blocking. So Daniel Brunskill and Justin School have done a fantastic job in place of Joe Staley and Mike McGlinchey. Now, this game, we are to get Staley, McGlinchey, and Juice back. That has been confirmed. Those guys will go ahead and practice. That is the plan, to have both our starting left and right tackle back. And those guys have been chomping at the bit to get back because they see the success that we've had without them. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The NFL is always a what have you done for me lately league. And you are not going to just replace Joe Staley and Mike McGlinchey with Daniel Brunskill and Justin School and think that everything's going to be okay and that they're going to hold those jobs and you're not going to get your job when you come back. Yes, you will get your job when you come back because Joe Staley is a future Hall of Famer. Mike McGlinchey is shaping up to be a great right tackle. But at the end of the day, this is invaluable experience for them. That way, if anything were to ever happen, we already know we got some backup dudes that we can get. We can cut Sean Coleman because we don't need a swing tackle. We have Justin School. We have Daniel Brunskill. We have people on the squad that can do the job. It's next man up mentality. Now, this hurts that we lost Quan, but our defense is not about to slow down in any way, shape, or form. We all going to bring the energy, come together as a collective and bring the energy that he brought. But at the end of the day, this defense is unstoppable, it's unfazable, and there's nobody that can mess with us. People can't fuck with us on any level as far as the defense is concerned. And if you find somebody that is, that feels like they can, I'll be hard pressed to be able to understand their argument of what they can do against us. Because we rush 4 and we get to the quarterback. We rarely blitz. Watch us all season long. And our interchangeable front 4, our people that are on the bench are starters. So when we move people in and out and we give somebody a breather, we don't lose a step. You know what I'm saying? So you have to keep that in mind, man. If Buck got to sit down, we say, DJ, get in there. The rush does not stop. There is no difference. So, I mean, what can you say about our defense? But it's great. It's fantastic. It's number 1 in the league. And we're the number 1 team in the league. So, with that being said, man, this defense is a monster. And we're going to continue to play and we're still going to continue to be great. At the end of the day, we are 8-0. All that guarantees is that we can go 8-8. We are going to stay Niner faithful. We are going to stay humble. We are the Niner gang. Y'all have a very blessed evening. And I'll be back with a video as far as us versus Seattle, and just a little quick small video about a little grade on us as the season so far. Peace.